welcome back to the Merry Boozers RC channel. Another awesome brand new release coming to you from XFly. Today we got on this one. We're not 100% sure how to pronounce this one, so me and Papa have been having a discussion. We think it is Glastar, but it could be Glastar? Glasser? We don't know yet, so we'll figure it out over time as all of you guys figure out what you're going to call it. But we're going to be looking at the 1233 millimeter Glastar from XFly models. This is going to fly on a 3-cell 2200 to 1300 milliamp LiPo battery. It does have pneumatic air-up tires on it, which is something that's really interesting on this model that separates it from some of the other STOL type planes on the market right now. So I'm really excited for it, guys. We're going to get it out of the box, get this thing put together for you, and show you around it. So here we go. Alright guys, so the first thing we did was lay everything out on the table for you. We do recommend you use a stand when you're putting these together. It makes your life a lot easier. Our buddies over at BitGo Hobby, let me move this wing out of the way, make this ultra stand. And you guys that are looking for a great stand for putting your models together, me and Papa have been using these for years. He had one back in the 80s, we've had them through the 90s, and now they're making them in a bunch of new colors. So if you want one of these, we'll link one of these down in the description. We also have our Ernst stand over here, or not stand, but our Ernst trays. These really help when you're putting your models together, keep all your parts and pieces separated. Like I said, I'll have them both down in the description. So we're gonna vary a little bit away from the manual on this one. Step one of the manual is to put the wings on. We really don't recommend doing that first, because if you put the wing on and you're trying to turn your model over, you see where the issue would be. You'd be bonking that wing into everything. So what we're going to start with is the landing gear assembly for this. In your kit, you're going to get two different lengths of screws. You have the longer ones that are the 20 millimeter, and you have the shorter ones, which are your 10 millimeters. They both use 2 millimeter hex Allen keys. We have these screwdrivers linked down in the description. I use these all the time on our assembly videos. These 2 millimeter E-flite screwdrivers are fantastic, guys. And the set comes with two 1.5 Phillips, all the different sizes that you're going to need when you're putting these models together. So great set, under 20 bucks. What we're going to start with is our wheel assembly. The wheels on this model, one thing that makes this a little bit different than everything else is these are pneumatic air-up tires. So they're super supple, super soft. It comes with the little air inflator like you would use on a basketball, and they go in right here. There's a little place to put them in and air these up. So it's kind of cool. This is one of the only models I've ever seen that has air-up bush tires on it. What we're going to do is get these wheels put on. As you can see, it's got brass receiving points on here. We're going to take our wheels, snap those down in there, grab this little white plate right here, put that over the top of this, and we're going to grab our 10 millimeter shorter screws. There's 4 of them. You're only going to use 3, you get 1 extra for this. And we are going to get that started. Now, don't screw it down all the way tight yet, just get them started. That way if you need some wiggle to this to get all of them in the hole, you can. And one more. Just like that. Now, when you're tightening these up, just use 2 fingers if you're using the same screwdriver as mine. Move them until you can't move them anymore with those 2 fingers. That way you're not over tightening these guys. You don't want to ever like suck them through the foam. So I just do the 2 finger method. You run this until it gets tight, and then you're tight. If you're using actual Allen keys, it kind of stinks putting these together. I'm telling you, these are worth their weight in gold. So there it is. Those are on now. We're gonna flip the model up and we're gonna put our tail on at this point. Now, on the tail of this model, you have 2 brass receiving points in the back. What you're gonna need to do is move your tail out of the way. Be careful when you do this. You're just gonna take and turn this by hand. Don't force it real hard or real fast because you don't want to strip out your servo doing that. But this is gonna make it where you can put your screwdriver in there. Grab your elevator. Doesn't hurt nothing if you go on and just wiggle that elevator a little bit. It is a foam hinge, so you might want to break it loose a little bit, just wiggle it a little bit. It's got a plastic receiver that's going to go into this part on the tail, and we're going to just key that in now. Nice and gentle. Remember, if you're forcing anything, you're doing it wrong. Now, 20 millimeter longer screws, and we're going to get them started, but not, oops, oh, hey, got it. We're going to get them started, but not run them all the way in until we get both of them in there. There it goes. We're going to stop. Like I said, I'm not getting all the way in. Put the second one in. Screw it down nice and tight. And nice and tight. Now, the manual is going to tell you to put the control linkage on your elevator now. Wait until you put your receiver into the airplane. We're going to do this last, after everything's fired up and we can make sure that it's centered. So we'll be back with you in just a second. Let me get set up for the next part. Okay, so now the next step you need to do is install your receiver of choice. We're using a Spectrum setup, but I know some of you guys fly Futaba, whatever. You need to set up your receiver. I'll show you how we laid ours out real quick, Papa. It's on the zoom there. Up, down. Anyway, we laid ours out right there in there. There's a flat spot in the bottom where the receiver can stick in there real easy. So yeah, we set that up. We also added a piece of shelf liner up on the front of the model instead of using the provided Velcro. We find that that shelf liner works really good with the strap. It comes with the strap already in there, so you just need that shelf liner. So the next step that we're going to do after it's been bound up like ours is we need to do a throttle calibration while we have the prop off. So let's go on and get that handled on your controller. Full throttle. Prop off of airplane. This is important, just in case for some reason it were to run. Plug in. Hear the 2 beeps, throttle back to 0. Throttle's calibrated. Perfect. Now's a good time for us to check to make sure our rudder works. Works beautiful. Elevator. I can hear it moving. We haven't attached it yet. What I was telling you is let's wait till this part so that we can make sure everything stays centered. So, at this point, what I'm going to do is go back here. I don't know why that keeps doing that. And I'm going to slide this battery somewhere. Well, it won't fall off. All right. I'm going to come around the corner here, guys. Grab your servo extension. It goes in, according to the manual. Doesn't tell you in the manual. So I'm going to use the end hole and get the most travel I can. It's kind of the way I am. Now, if I just clipped that on, let's see if I can show you this. It have a whole bunch of down in it right now. We don't want that. So what I need to do is screw it out a little bit. Out. Now let's see. Still got a bunch of down in it. I may actually need, that's close. What I think I'm going to do on this part is I don't know why it keeps doing that little jitter thing. I'm gonna have to look at that momentarily. Let's try and do an unplug and replug real quick, see if that jitter goes away. So what I'm gonna do this time, I'm gonna actually take this off. I was getting to the end of my adjustment. So what I'm gonna do is unscrew that, pull it off. I'm gonna move one spline over on the teeth because I was running out of control rod. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh yeah, now it's a lot closer. Close, close, and some of these go only one way. Ooh, must not be that way. Ooh, tight. Little ball links are tight. Only goes one way, and it just takes a heck of a push. Huh. Man. Holy guacamole, Batman, that is tight. Let me get a pair of pliers. All right. Wow, that's tight. What in the world? Ooh, ow, okay, ouch. Ooh, I got it. Whew, that thing was tight, guys. Whew. So it did go on, it only goes on one direction. When you look at it, there's one side that's bigger than the other, and you need to make sure you get that in the right way. All right, guys, so motor's calibrated, elevator's put on, rudder's hooked up. You can see everything's working now. So the next step is going to be to put our wing on. So we're going to grab our wing. It's going to be kind of interesting to show you on camera. I've got to find my little extender here that I just plugged in to the receiver. There it is. Boom. Now, not easy to do by yourself, and especially not easy to do on camera. There's no way to do this pretty. Plug both wires in. Like so. Make sure you go color to color. If you get it backwards and you screw all the wing on, you're not going to be happy with yourself. So yellow to yellow, brown to brown. And you'd be surprised how many times I hear guys hook these up backwards. So there's that. Push them all the way in. Make sure you check if they're all the way in too. These have servo unconnector protector things. All right, so as I put the wing on, I'm going to also line up these little channels. Well, maybe hold my mouth just right. Like that. And like that. So you can see I'm getting the wing in, and I've hooked in both of these bottom parts. Now you can start working at getting it out of there. Now, you make sure your wires don't get pinched either. So pull all the wires down and push it closed. As you can see, it's all lined up now. It looks good. So what we need to do now is take our last 2mm screws, put those in the top, like so. Before we do that, I've got the plane turned on. I don't know why I didn't think of this. Let's make sure the ailerons wiggle. And they do. Always good to check that before you screw them down. E-flite 2mm screwdriver. Aha, there we go. Not all the way until we get the other one started and down. Screws in like a glove, brass receiving points on the inside of the airplane. Once again, 2 fingers. If you gotta have more than 2 fingers to tighten it, you're over tightening it. So this is how I do it on these foamies. Yeah. And then you're out. So, let's just double check everything real quick. Ailerons, ailerons, no flaps. Elevator, elevator, rudder. My rudder's backwards, but I'll fix that on my transmitter here in a second. But everything is working correctly at this point. Throttle works. So at this point, we're ready to put the prop on. Make sure all our control surfaces are going the direct direction, and we'll be going out to fly. So give me just a second to wrap this up, and we'll be right back with you. So I shot the gun saying that we were done already. I still got to put the clips here in the inside of the wing. So you got these little body clips like off of an RC car. Just going to reach in there. No easy way to do this on camera ever. But they clip. So, sort of, kind of, got to get them just right. Ah! I'm going to show you me fumbling with one, and that ought to be enough. Got it! There it is. So you can see that one. I'm going to do the other one off camera because that's not the easiest thing to do in frame on a camera. The only other thing left to do is put the prop on your airplane. So we know that we're done setting everything up at this point. This is the last step before you go to fly this airplane. Back hub, prop, spinner, and there is one more of the 10mm screws. Wrong screwdriver. There it is. That doesn't work. Ah! Good catch, Papa. You gotta put the nut on. I was looking at that like, what am I doing wrong? It's more exciting this way, guys, if you see me mess up every once in a while. Papa gets it, though. He's put a couple of these together on film too, and it can get exciting sometimes. So take our little nut and our hub like so, and screw that down. And this, guys, I believe gets it all done. We'll see you in just a second. So guys, that wraps up the Glastar from XFly Models. If you want one, we're going to have these linked down in the description at our buddies at BitGo Hobby. They're going to be the distributor for these in North America. One thing that I wanted to say thank you for and use his sticker to help is when you look at this model, it's all white on the top. It's all white on the bottom. So something you might think about doing is putting something on this airplane to where you can tell top from bottom. And what I'm going to do, a buddy of mine sent me his stickers, and I'm sure if you contacted old C Mafia, he'd send you some stickers. So what I'm going to do is put his stickers on the bottom wing, and that way I can tell up from down on this thing. It'll help quite a bit. Now you can put whatever you want, a black stripe, whatever. But a boozer sticker would be really good looking on the bottom of this thing. If I can get the sticker to unstick. Hey, there it is. But if you put something on the bottom of this airplane, I highly recommend doing something. Just so you can tell up from down. It makes the orientations a lot easier.
On this side.
All right. We can. Oops, I'm trying to get through here and Dad's got a humongous airplane off to the side and I almost fell and died. But anyway, that's something I recommend. Go check out our buddy C-Moff. He's a good dude. Helps out in the community a lot behind the scenes. And yeah, this thing's awesome.
One of the things I also want to say, the tires look a little, on camera, they look a little funny.
Right.
But when you actually have them in your hands, they are really, really kind of neat to be. I mean, these air up tires are really something. that I think might catch on in the future from other models.
They're pretty cool, yeah. I mean, they're
cool. I mean, they're going to be bouncy, but
I don't know. They might just.
they're going to
We'll
take
find
a lot
out.
of a shock.
Mm-hmm.
Flying off of grass is not going to be anything.
No.
But
And
the whole model is real nice foam.
you can see, guys.
I mean, it's really a nice model.
I mean, it's going to take a hit.
Oh yeah.
You can, and they really. I mean, they got some bounce back to them.
But you can see how putting that sticker you can
You can tell.
what size the wing is up or down.
Right.
So I really truly say that you need to do
Yep.
that on that model. But I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to the only thing that this model lacks in some other ways is the flaps.
Flaps, yeah, and it looks like they're actually cut out to where maybe in the future you could put them in there, but they're not pocketed.
I guarantee you I could put flaps.
We could put them in there if we really needed them, but it's going to be such a slow, docile airplane. I don't think you're going to need them.
Oh yeah. This is a STOL kind of plane.
Yep, easy
without the
going.
flaps.
Yep, easy going, beginner friendly, inexpensive model.
But
So
that's coming up in the next video.
That's right.
We'll be showing you how this airplane flies.
So, guys, if you haven't already, think about becoming a Boozer Barracks member. Hit that subscribe button down below and get out there, fly with your friends, and we will see you in the next video. Bye!